Well, hello everybody and welcome. Welcome to Hale 21 Future School 2015. It's fantastic that I'm talking to you and I've already met you all, and whether that's at Caversham, Mungalup or Cascade over the last week or two, which has been a fantastic opportunity for me. We're ready to go with some pretty exciting work. I know that you're not entirely sure what this is all about, despite the fact I've been able to see you and tried to explain it. I think the best thing for us to do is to jump right in and get going. Each week, most weeks, you're going to receive a YouTube video like this, which is going to explain some activities for you to think about before we meet on the Thursday. There won't be an enormous amount of work to do, but there'll be some questions that I'm going to ask you to think about. Each week also, we're going to have a big question. We're going to have a question that sort of dominates the couple of different activities that we're going to do. And this week's question for the first unit is, how do authors bring to life stories that are set in the past? So we're talking about stories that are about real events, stories that are made up events, and stories, so they're written. And I'm not talking about whether you say what date it is or you put in a picture. I'm talking about how could you write a piece of writing? What clues can you build into a piece of writing? And indeed, we're going to look at some pieces of writing and you're going to study them and think, wow, okay, so what are some of the clues that are taking place in this scene the author has done? We're going to visit a couple of magic websites as well on Thursday, and you're going to begin to explore some photographs of the past. It's a pleasure to welcome you all, guys. I really hope you enjoy it, and let's get started and have a look at the first activity. You can tell that we're in the past, and that is also, I think, because it's a black and white photograph. But this has a pretty imposing figure on the right-hand side there. This is from a period of time about 130, 140 years ago in the United States. And I'm going to ask you just to read this page, and we're going to do a bit of an activity about it. So I'm just introducing to each of the topics, then so I'm going to give you some questions to think about before we all meet online next Thursday. So this is an activity. It's a wonderful novel, and it won't be something you'll read for 10 or 15 years' time. This is just the first page or two, and I've shortened it and changed it a bit, but it's such a powerful story. So you'll get a chance to have a read of that over the next week or so. We're then going to explore this pretty remarkable story, another story from the past. Clearly, it's not a real story, though. Cold Mountain is a story based on a major historical event. Gulliver's Travels is, of course, made up, an entire story beautifully made up by Jonathan Swift several hundred years ago. And then I'm going to ask you to have a look at a favourite view of yours from a window at school and or at home. And I simply want you to take a photograph of it. I want you to load it on a page. None of this has to be done, of course, before Thursday, but this is just the sort of work we're going to be doing in a week starting on Thursday. But before Thursday, I would like you to think about these things and see if you can find out some information. Don't want you to write it down. No, just want you to ask some questions and see if you can get some background information. First one, have a look at this wonderful picture here from Dublin in 1910. So, just over 100 years ago in Dublin, Ireland. Imagine you had to write a story which was taking place in that street. So what are the vital features that you would describe so that the reader understood what it looked like and what was going on a busy Dublin street in 1910? And you couldn't have that photo in it. What sort of things would you mention? Okay, then a couple of strange questions that you might be able to ask teacher, mum or dad. Look up yourself, up to you. Don't write them down, just keep them in the back of your mind. What is a civil war? Who was Gulliver? Who was Florence Nightingale? And what is your favourite window to look out of at school and at home? That's what we're going to start with on Thursday. We're going to discuss which key features of that photograph in Ireland you would have to write in your story in order for someone who read it, just saw it on a piece of paper, they would begin to think, oh wow, this is a long time ago. What things would you build into it? So have a look at that photograph and see if you can get some answers to those questions. 11 o'clock Thursday. This Thursday is day one of Future School, and we've got some cracking activities and some real thinking and some good discussion to have. I very much look forward to hearing from you. I'll give you my email on Thursday, but your teachers have got my email now if you wanted to send me up any questions before we start on Thursday. But I'll see you all at 11 o'clock on Thursday in our virtual classroom. Good on you guys. See you later.